Okay, let's just skim over some more news. Really, I've spent exponentially more time today on this than I wanted to. Either way, but it is really interesting. There's so much news. It's only been a week, but it's just like racism, violence, multicultural issues, corruption. It's messed up. Okay, let's see here. More and more protests in the Western Cape. Service delivery. I'm pretty sure the ANC is stoking some of this because the Western Cape is run by the DA. The other states in South Africa is run way worse, like 10 times worse than the Western Cape. Okay, taxi rank shooting. Yeah, that happens. Cigarettes. 5 robbery suspects arrested. This was probably some kind of like police raid or whatever. Called different people. Rhino poachers reprimanded. Killers of 2 young girls sought. So they killed 2 young girls. Let's see here. Okay, shocked and appalled by the killing of 2 young girls whose bodies were found dumped in an open field. Yeah, that is rough. Probably 2 black girls. The killer girls have been booked. I'm also urging the community to work closely with the police to finding the heartless killers. Okay, 8 and 9 years old. That is rough. So they're playing Sunday afternoon. The girls were reported missing following day. The bodies were discovered. Alert manhunt. Okay, they're not saying if the girls were raped. They might have been. That's rough. Hey, shame. So much bloodshed. So much bloodshed. Recreational murder in South Africa, you know. Let's just go and ruin lives. Happy days. We like it. Yo, dude. Yeah, man. Really. Really. Councillor's house torch. Look there. They just burned the city councillor's house. The black community again. All upset about something. And as always, the police condemn acts of violence. Blah, 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 blah. It's always the same. Doesn't make a difference to the actions, you know. Doesn't make a difference to the actions. It's like listening to some communist manifesto. You know, promising a utopia, but then when reality it's all different. The South African Police Service in Limpopo are harshly condemning the public violence that keeps on reoccurring, you know. Okay. Incidents of public violence after a member of the community went on a rampage. So the guys went on a rampage in a local community warden's house and his car was set on fire. That is heavy. Burning someone's house and car. That is heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay, they were all upset about things not happening. They attacked their home and subsequently burned the house with its content and motor vehicle to ash. 11 people arrested. Okay, so that's all I have to say about it, really. That is bad. That's really bad. Cash and transit eyes. There you go. That's the stuff. Every now and then you see that Northwest explosives that they steal. They steal it to do exactly this. They go and take these cash vans. They blow them up. Big gangs. Gangs of 8 to 15 people. All with automatic rifles and stuff. Okay. Blown up vehicles, further assessment. 8 security people got small injuries. 2 people were bystanders and 6 were security guys. Okay. Transported the patients to the hospital. The exact circumstances are not yet clear. Yawn. Really? Police are on the scene and investigating. Triple, quadruple yawn. Yawn, yawn, yawn. They have nothing to say about it. It happens in South Africa every day, but 2 at the same time? That doesn't happen that much. Why do so many South Africans die of TB? A lot of them have AIDS. 10 million smart IDs. Suspect sought for armed robbery in Table View. There you go. Armed robbery in Table View. Denial becomes a crime. Interesting. Let's see here. That's going to be some human rights thing probably. It's probably some race thing. Good morning. We need to help Elaine complaints against Gully Creel for denying apartheid was a crime against humanity. I have a lawyer friend who is doing legal issue. We want to lay complaint, petition apartheid and all to be considered a crime. I can't think anybody will deny apartheid. Segregation. I think the thing that the Scully Creel dude is probably doing is trying to debate what was happening. Because people act like it's like the Nazis. It's not the same. Not by a long shot. You know, like the communists. It's not. There's no violent hate driven there. Nothing. It's all segregation. It's like colonialism. I mean, it is what it is. But I think that is the thing that's being debated here. This dude probably thinks it's like, you know, white people were going around just killing black people or beating them up the whole time. And black people did nothing. That's probably also what he thinks. Either way, interesting. Let's see here. When the hate speech bill was first proposed, okay, apartheid denial would be next to be criminalized. So basically, the Afrikaans party said that apartheid denial will be the next criminalized. This is a socialist agenda to criminalize free speech. It's a bad thing. What really should be happening is people should learn to debate and talk about stuff. You know, and people should have different opinions. To make opinions and to voice opinions illegal, that is a bad thing. That is when stuff gets polarized because the people don't have a way to talk about issues or resolve it. They just have to keep it inside, and then before you know it, people start venting their problems. Holocaust denial is a crime. Apartheid denial, I can't think anybody will deny apartheid. It happened, right? You had segregation. Full segregation. There's no denying it. Why would anybody deny it? I mean, the facts are there for everybody to see. I mean, it's written in history. It's written in white history as well in black history. It's everywhere. Okay. Okay, but that is saying there was no Holocaust. That's different than saying, you know what, the Holocaust isn't as bad as people make it out, or there were other people also involved in the Holocaust. It's not just the Jews. Or what about all the other groups of people that got killed in the world? What makes the Holocaust any worse? You know, that is... But just saying there was no Holocaust, that's just utter junk as well. Actually, people that say that, they really have to get their heads examined. You know, amount of innocent people, not just Jews, anybody that opposed Hitler. You know, the vast amounts of them that got killed. I was in Berlin now for over the weekend. You know, all those Roma gypsies that got murdered even before he started going after the Jews. You know, rough stuff, man, really rough. Okay, so now this guy is just all upset. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. Was not a crime against humanity is an attempt to have apartheid and all declared a crime. The question is, what is a crime against humanity? I don't really have a definition for it. I wonder if anybody that ever write this stuff or talk about it really understand what the crime against humanity is. I don't think anybody does. I mean, I can probably start to look it up and think about it, but I'm not going to do it now. I've already spent like 5 hours just like looking through the news for the last week. I might do it later. Apartheid denial. I don't think Kali Kriel, whoever he was, would have said there's apartheid denial. I think that's utter nonsense. I don't think this dude would have said that. If he did, then he's an idiot, and he's definitely not speaking for anybody. So what did Helen Zilla say about colonialism? We were better off before 94, Kutlante in jail. Helen Zilla said that? She's a colored. Why would she say that? Mixed race, I mean. Or Malayan. She's not even white. Better off before 94. That is also a very apartheid statement to make. Because the colored people were also living totally segregated there in the Cape, all happy. Well, I won't say happy, but they were living there. It's quite interesting, that they go after this guy, but there's so much hate crime actually being spewed or voiced by the EFF, for instance, even some of the really far left communist ANC guys, and nothing ever gets said about that, There's a lot of that going on. A lot of hate being spewed there. Nobody voiced anything about that. It's actually quite funny. It's almost like it's a moral dilemma in the world where white people gets held to a different standard than the rest. It's almost like, especially white liberals and the white people in the know and well educated, they think that they're really better than everybody else in that sense. White people should know better, and white people are better, and black people, they're just all wild, they're not educated, they shouldn't know better. That's just utter nonsense, people are people. And there's a lot of that happening, especially with these open-minded socialists. They actually really act and think like they know better. And, black people, when they go and do this kind of stuff, you should just keep your mouth shut, because they don't really know better. The poor black people don't really know better. That's nonsense, Put them at the same level as you, That is the way it should be. It's the same thing as, where they say that a life of a black person in the eyes of society is a lot of times not seen as valuable as the life of a white person. There's a lot of that being done as well in the world, It's the same kind of thing. White people in Europe living in a bubble thinking like this. At some point they'll probably wake up. Give them another 20-25 years. But it's interesting. Only thing I can say about this is people should be able to voice their opinions. They shouldn't demonize people. Demonization and damnation of people, that's just totally wrong. I mean, people should be going after people. I mean, that is just really bad. And but voicing your own opinion, you have your own opinion, say it's your own opinion, life goes on, You think the moon is purple, people laugh at you. You can't make it a hate crime to say the moon is purple because it's wrong. That's the kind of the silliness that's really happening here. And the problem is, if people can't talk and speak their mind, then you're going to start getting political things polarized, very polarized, and then you get issues. It's the same reason why nationalism is becoming so powerful now in Europe. With 20 to 30% of the population's becoming so nationalist. It's because they didn't have a voice. Nobody wanted to listen to them. The open-minded social liberals for 30-40 years dictated everything and controlled everything. And anybody that said anything else, or and and said we're not so comfortable with this, we're just branded racists, or Nazis. That is really what happened. So in the end, all these people had to keep quiet, and they were all marginalized, and now they're getting traction. And now suddenly, can of worms has been opened in Europe, and it's not going to go away quickly. If there's one thing about Europeans, it's like when they start being really upset about stuff and doing war, you don't want to be around, The war will be really ugly in a place like Europe. When those people start fighting each other, you want to be gone. I don't want to be there. I hope for your sake you neither. Okay, so that's really all I want to say about that. This is really interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. I'll just go quickly skim over these as well if anybody wants to listen to it on this video. Suspect sought armed robbery in table view, said that. Deeper investigation, okay, it's just basically corruption in the on city-state level. It's always the same. And now someone talking about why he feels he needs to belong to the Afrikaans civil organization looking after the Afrikaans people. I'm not going to look at that. Yo, there's so many racist and multicultural and things like that really on the news this week. Very interesting stuff, but it's just too much. Thought you could hide it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Elderly man shot multiple times in Ebony Park. That's not good. Man arrested for shooting 2-year-old. Shooting a 2-year-old? Really? Okay, fine. Maybe I'll do some more news. Let me stop it here.